We're back with another Vykas normal. This build is full Nightmare Relic set with engraving as Grudge, Curse-Stole, Hitmaster, all out attack, level 2 adrenaline, and then I have level 1 reflux. So this is a casting reflux, a very cheap one too. You usually base your main DPS on your 3 main skills: Explosion, Punishing Thunder, and Doomsday. Obviously my card is really strong. So for 1430, it's a little bit stronger than required, but that's what most of the people have in this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to run Vykas normal. So let's talk about this build for a second. So Nightmare set gives you additional damage while burning mana. And if you run out of mana, you actually spend, you get a lot of cooldowns, and then you get to spam a lot of skills, which one of the build exists as instant cast reflux, because if you look at this, you have quick cast tripod, and you also have quick cast tripod on ice arrows as well, and then you might have quick cast on this as well. So you stack all these cooldowns, and then you go like level 3 reflux if you want, or level 1 reflux to get that additional cooldown. And then at the same time, you also activate your unlimited mana phase. Unlimited mana phase gives you about 40% plus cooldown. So if you go swiftness with it, I can crit as much as I can. So you notice my crit is 1628. It feels like it's too much crit, right? Because it's 1628 at 58.26%, and adrenaline at level 2, that's 10% more. So I have 68.26% crit rate. That will make my Keen Blunt viable, but I don't even have Keen Blunt. So technically, I built this wrong. Instead of Curse-Stole, Keen Blunt would have been much better off for me. But this is a very cheap low-pang ult, where I have Grudge and Curse-Stole as legendary. So a better build for me for this particular class would have been adjusting this into swiftness a little more, and playing maybe instant cast reflux, but I didn't want it to spend the tripod, right? So this would be the casting Sorc that is very, very cheap to make. So most of my low pang ults are just cheap builds. There are some other adjustments as well. For sorceresses, since she is so good with many versatile builds, you can go pretty much anything you want. You can like get more swiftness for just a little bit more speed, a little bit more cooldown, get some crit. If you think you run out of crit, you have other engraving options as well. You have adrenaline, you have precision dagger, and all this other stuff as well. The reason why I don't play ignition is just one reason: it's too slow. And there are some swiftness ignition builds as well, but if I'm gonna play swiftness ignition, which is also a decent build to look into and having a lot of fun with it, why not play reflux instead? That's kind of like my mindset, because if I like operating my character, that's all I want, because I'm not really greedy on MVP. That also being said, I have different skills too. I have this thing called Lightning Vortex. So Lightning Vortex is also a synergy skill that gives 6% additional damage to the team, but it also increases my movement speed too. That's why I have this, because I want to move a little faster. But generally, I say the build is wrong because I should have allocated more to swiftness. It could have been 1-to-1 even, and I would have a little more fun because I'll be moving around so much. I'll have so much faster casting time. But there's no need for me to be greedying on the stuff because I have no problem enjoying any of the content that exists now. So obviously when Morphis starts, we're going to talk about Vykas now instead of the build. Obviously starting up with my Awakening so that I can activate my Nightmare. So a problem for casting sorceresses is always landing your skills, right? Your Doomsday needs to land, your Explosion needs to land, all that stuff. So I'm in the mechanic version. He's going to the middle soon. So when he does that 2 slashes, here's the times that you can actually kind of assume that he's going. So when he does that laser, you can actually land your Doomsday 100% of the time, because this animation is very long. So those kind of long animations, keep in mind of it. And the scratching one works as well when he does that little bit of scratch. So I'm at 1 o'clock doing that thing. This is red, blue, green, right? Red, blue, green, white, black, and then red again. Red. There you go. That's how you need to do it. Alright, cool. Now we're just doing the damage. Just doing the damage. Now when he does that spike, you can just walk away like that. And at the same time, you can walk away faster. Oh, he's doing the laser again. I'm gonna go where he goes. I'm gonna see where he goes. I'm gonna see where he goes. I can do Doomsday here. Lands 100% of the time. I think, my opinion is, spamming Doomsday is also good. But you gotta land your Doomsday too. So, I think that's very important. So we have a Destroyer, so we don't really need to do static. I'm blue. If you have a blue circle up on your head, you gotta be at 11 or 5 o'clock. And then you either spin clockwise or counterclockwise first. But you gotta be on keen of where the ball is coming. You gotta block all of them. It actually gives you enough time. Also, this part is finished, so I'm gonna give my Esther to the Gun Lancer so they can use this Esther. We're done this part. There you go. So he does that here. So this kind of pattern, you can actually land your... oh, this thing too. So he slashes twice on position like that. So this is a time where you can land some of your Punishing Thunder or even Doomsday. So when he does that little 2-click, he does that little kick there, right? So when he does a little bit of jab, kind of assume where he's going to be and then use your Doomsday there. That's very important. Because now from Vykas, it's going to be very hard to land your Doomsday now. Because the characters are moving much more. You guys had a easier time landing your Doomsdays on Valton because he's huge. This guy is a little smaller. And that pattern itself, always walk around about this auto range. That's why sometimes people auto very, very often to keep on check of their range. Alright, keeping checking of their range. Alright, he gave it back. So, I have Ninabe ready, by the way. So, let me show you some of the patterns that you can use Ninabe on. So, if he's going to do the kick, nope, he's not doing the kick. He's doing the dash. And then this is front safe. He's doing the laser again, right? So, when he teleports, always fire Ninabe if you have it. Because it's on 100% land. One of the patterns that lands 100% of the time. Very good pattern. So the players on the other side told us that we're 12 o'clock safe. So he's going to create 4 different magic circles, and we're going to the safe spot right now. So here, if you actually use your Doomsday, it usually lands, unless he teleports. There you go. And then using your skill. So when he yells, when he laughs like that, doing the spikes, also your big skill lands. Let's see what else he does. He's in his Berserk mode. If he's in his Berserk mode, he moves much faster. So you gotta watch out. You gotta move much faster, it does more damage. So you saw the Destroyer, he also taunted. So when you see a taunt like that, always use your Doomsday too. You gotta react to that, you know? And when he does that kick attack, you can also use your Doomsday. It will land most of the time. And then when he does that scratch, watch where he teleports first and then use your Doomsday so that it lands most of the time. Your Doomsday does most of the damage anyway, especially when you're Ignition Sorcerers too. So it's really important for you to know when your Doomsday timing is. Alright. So this is inside safe. So this guy's dead already. So the other team needs to finish Morphe off as well. So he laughs a little bit, stay inside when you're in Lust Dimension. Lust Dimension really just tests your mechanics, like physical mechanics. So here in this case, dodge these poops and then go inside or outside safe. But make sure you're in the auto attack range. Same thing, you're in the auto attack range here. Inside safe here. He's doing the laser again, right? Laser, this is when you land your Doomsday. Very easy. It lands 100% of the time. Those are the stuff that Sorc should be looking into. Like, you don't have to worry about casting 2 Doomsdays in 1 Ignition, all that kind of stuff. If it doesn't land, it doesn't really matter, right? That's like kind of on my mindset. Alright, I'm gonna stay right here, 3 o'clock. So if you're actually a raid leader, I suggest you to stand around in the 3 o'clock position. So there's 11-2 and then spare. We have 5-2, 5-1, 7-2. There's no 7-1, so I'm going to be 7-1. And we're all good. So the reason why I'm at the 3 o'clock position is because I can see the wings on the right side and eat the orbs. It's actually pretty big brain. I'll show you here. So 3, center, and 12 is actually pretty important positions for people to play, because you can actually tell what the color is going to be if you actually guarantee on having 0 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 12 o'clock positions. So there's a purple ring right here. So purple ring is chasing him, right? Look how big the explosion is. Ooh. So that paladin almost died, but I think he had like a damage reduction buff on, because that damage is based on HP percentage. It's not like a flat damage. It's percentage damage to your HP. So you usually die in 1 hit. So unless you have something like a defense reduction buff or a shield, you're going to die 100% of the time if you get hit by that blast. So you gotta watch out. Alright, landing my punishing thunder. Stay a little bit farther. She's going to counter. Since she countered, wish I had my doomsday there, but I don't have my doomsday. So she's going to do the mechanic very soon when we reach 120 lines. There you go. She goes to the center, right? So I'm gonna eat this orb, see what happens. I get to see the right side too. Look at my mouse. So this is half. Someone needs to eat in the middle, but we fucked up. So it's going to be, oh, over here. Oh, never mind. Someone died eating the orb. That's why. Now this is a great example. I've actually wanted these kind of stuff happening and recorded to explain what happened. You notice the middle orb wasn't eaten fast enough, and someone was going to eat it, and if you eat 2 orbs, you're going to die immediately. Does that make sense? So someone's job was take the middle orb, but he didn't. So it caused the wipe, which is a great example to learn about, that it can wipe parties if you don't pay attention. I've actually wanted to record some wipes, but all the runs have been perfect, so like it doesn't really help some commentary. But you know, you want to see some fails, so that you can know why it failed. So those 5 orbs, if you eat 2 of them, you die. The center one wasn't eaten, so we didn't know what color it was, right? That's why we died. It's very simple, very, very simple. People will need to do their mechanics instead of the damage. Oh, the purple ring again. Watch out, purple ring. So he's coming in this side, right? So I'm going to be close to him so that I don't get this attack damage. So if you're too close to the purple ring guy, whoever is aggro, you must stay closer. But don't bother him with the explosions under your feet, because explosions will be under your feet for a couple times. There you go. So we're gonna do it again. So this is folded. This is, now it's red. So we go to 7 o'clock. So you notice 3 o'clock was folded wings, right? That means it's not. It needs to be purple in order for that to be the first safe spot. 11 o'clock is most of the time half folded wings. So I look at the 3 and I go, oh wait a minute, this is folded, but the color is red. Then it's 7. I don't even need to know. That's how you would do it as a raid leader. But it's like more of an advanced tactic. But sometimes you can, if you just memorize it, memorize a couple rules, you'll be able to figure out it every time. There are a couple. That's how you actually bus this too, because bus is done by 3 people. That's why you got to do this mechanic with only 3 people. Alright, so look at this. So we see this thing happening over here. So there's a projectile coming at us, right? Someone threw the pools wrong. Even WoW players don't do that. That's why, you know, WoW players, they tend to play this a lot better, because they take care of pools really well. Apparently this guy did it, whoever threw it away on the bottom side. This is a counter. I counter from the far side. So if you counter, you can also land your Ninive, but I used it too late. Okay, I missed it. That's fine. But I wanted to show you that you can land Ninive after you counter, but I used it too late. Oops. So this is another thing where I should have used the Nina V when she was doing the revolving doors, right? Another purple ring. It's good that we're seeing a lot of purple rings because this purple ring mechanic is very dangerous. It's a very, very, very dangerous pattern. Alright, so I'm gonna go to 7 o'clock now. So 7 o'clock is going to be, look at this. Black, red, black, red, black, right? You see the pulses. You see the pulses here. Black, red, black, red, and then black again. And they're all, the orbs are all black. That's why people get confused. You have to memorize the pulses beforehand and then do the mechanic. And usually people who are in the first position writes it down on the chat to let the party mates know that the combination is red black black red black red black. You have to let the red orbs pass to Vykas, and you have to take the black orbs to make sure Vykas doesn't absorb it. So this 4 explosion, electronic explosion, is one of the best mechanic that you can DPS on, but you actually have to watch out because if you get hit one of them, you get stunned, so you gotta get the full combo out of it, which it results into death most of the time. So she's in the middle for revolving door. In Sorceress's case, she can just cast or skills here because she's gonna be in the middle, right? So actually, if you're a Sorc player, practice like dodging it, and then at the 3rd explosion, immediately cast your skill so that you can land it too. Since you're landing your skill is very important. And then she's gonna teleport here, and then do the spikes again. Good. And that's when it'll be much easier to land all your skills. So other than I missed that Nina V, I guess like everything was like solid and okay. So making sure you have your sleep bomb and you have your time stop as well. Alright. So she's doing a counter. I can counter here. Sorceress's counter is pretty good because it's like it's far away counter, right? You can also land some of your skills here during this mechanic, but you want to focus on your mechanic first. Throw away that wind buff, and then you have that peanut butter bridge. This can be anywhere, by the way. It can even be at 12. It can even be at 9, or it can be even at 3 or 6. It's just that the Korean pugs decided as 9 o'clock, so we all naturally go to 9. So this kind of combo, you can actually land most of your skills. So check this out. You'll see statues, right? You'll see swords now. You see that, right? Why do we see swords now? Because I have the pink bar. Statue has a different pattern, and then the swords has a different pattern, and only one sword and one statue are aligned to each other. That's the safe spot that you need to go. And the reason why everyone knows is because we did it too many times. There's only a couple of combinations of random. It's not complete random. And here in this particular quick time event is much slower if you have no lust gauge. If you have a little bit of lust gauge, what happens is this mini game is much faster, almost as very impossible for you to do it, almost. So someone failed. What does that mean? So that means he's going to cast some of the stuff. Now, when Vykas is here, this is outside save and this is inside save. And I'm gonna spacebar out, use Nina V, and then go back in. It will land 100% of the time. You gotta make sure you try to use it earlier. You have to use Nina V here when someone fails, is because she gains a shield when people fail. There you go. And then again, as explained, this particular mechanic, we need to get mind controlled. Everyone needs to get mind controlled on purpose. Because you gotta get mind controlled in order for it to to survive her hit, survive her wipe mechanic. And then now we're going to do some of that regular pattern until 100 lines. and then start doing the stagger mechanic. There you go. So she teleports to the middle. Again, all LOSTARK bosses, they will do something weird if they teleport to the middle. So if you are curious, don't follow the boss that is going to the middle. It's like a general rule of thumb. And then watch this frog glow, and then press the time stop. That's the actual timing. So someone pressed the time stop way too fast. Why did they press it too fast? It is because we have a destroyer and a gun lancer. We have a destroyer and a gun lancer. They do stagger really fast, right? So you tend to press the time stop too fast, and your time stop runs out, and then the frogs explode, and then she dies. That's how she died. You have to wait until the frogs glow a little bit in size, and then you have to press your time stop. That's the actual timing. Okay, that's good. Now the second pattern was that peanut butter pattern again, right? The counters come in, but I was in the different side, so that's fine. Now we're going to have the tentacle section, the tentacle pattern. So this particular thing, when you see a line, make sure you just go inside the line for the normal pattern. There you go. Normal pattern happening. The tentacle pattern. You have to eat the orbs on purpose to fill up your lust gauge, and then destroy the tentacles. You have to watch out, because if you eat it too many times, you're going to be mind controlled. So you usually eat it around that white line. Around that white line. When you're around that white line too. So destroying the tentacles at the normal is very important, because hard mode has at least almost twice as more tentacles than normal, and they have a lot more damage, a lot more HP too. So it's very challenging, because the problem is if you eat too many of them, you get mind control. People will be yelling like, "Yo, I'm mind control, I'm mind control." People will be like yelling and stuff, right? And it'll be chaotic later. That's the problem about this raid, because people get mind controlled all the time, and you can't do mechanics, and then you wipe. So the reason why I died here is because so one of them got mind controlled, and since they're strong, he killed me. So my teammate killed me because he got mind controlled. Does that make sense? So if you have a whale in your party and he gets mind controlled, he's gonna kill all of you. He's gonna be stronger than Vykas. So essentially, the reason why the biggest reason of party wipes is not because of damage, lacking damage for Vykas. It's teammates killing you. So I gave it to Destroyer. This is actually really good. This is actually a really good example, and this is a warm example. So in order for you to watch this warm, you need to have a lust gauge up. If you don't have the lust gauge up, it is invisible. So let's see if we can see it here. No one can see it unobserved. So what happens is, if you have your lust gauge filled up, you see worms falling, coming down in a direction. If you don't have the lust gauge up, you can't see it. And this is the Medusa. You can't see this pattern. Like you can't look at her. If you look at her, she's going to explode and mind control every single one of you. So when the screen becomes dark, you have to look away. How do you look away? You either move away or you auto attack the other direction. Yep. It's good that we're seeing a lot more patterns, because my other commentary runs didn't really have as much. So this sorceress run is pretty good to show you like a lot of examples. There you go. So when he's grabbed, it's gonna make an X mark, a cross mark. You dodge that cross mark and then do damage, because you don't land any damages anyway, because she's going to be invincible. Now here we go. A counter. It's a good example that I died, because like mind control is the most dangerous thing. Cause like here, if you get hit by one of these, your lust gauge fills up. That's the problem. Lust gauge is the biggest problem in this particular raid. And the reason why we're okay with 4 people is because after, when she goes into berserk mode, which is going now, we have Destroyer and we have a Berserker, and then we also have 2 Paladins, which they're pretty decent at staggering as well, if they have a vital point. Alright, you get grabbed again. So by the way, if you get grabbed, your lust gauge kind of falls away too. Alright, so she goes to Berserk mode. What is important here is you have to look at the mini-map. Look at the mini-map, and she will appear in one of these positions. So she appeared at 6 o'clock. So this is a Medusa, by the way. You don't look at the Medusa. You have to step on this explosion under your feet on purpose, because that will drop your lust gauge. Now from this point, this Berserk mode, your lust gauge is filling up automatically as time goes. And if it fills up, what happens? You're gonna get mind controlled, right? So inside save, outside save. So if you get hit, you're in trouble. So let's see the destroyer. Nice staggers, right? So you just need to stagger her. So what happens is she's going to cast the pool here. Everyone will need to run away and throw the pool away and then go back and do the stagger. If someone is in the middle, it's already over. You have to restart. There's no way you can survive from it. So you always have to throw the pool away. So there's a Medusa here. You have to dodge all the patterns unless you get mind control. So someone got mind controlled here. But can the destroyer do it? Can the destroyer do it? It's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Oh wait, we still have the berserk. We still have the gun lancer. Nice. So look at that. This is how most NA people will clear it for sure, because you will lack just a little bit of everything. So you'll have all these clutch endings. Nice. It was a really good example with so I can add some commentary on it. So that was it for the Sorceress Vykas run. Thanks guys. Bye YouTube. Bye.